In this video, we will discuss two topics: transistor biasing and base resistor biasing method. A simple definition is given as the proper flow of zero signal collector current IC and the maintenance of proper collector emitter voltage during the passage of signal is known as transistor biasing. This can be achieved with a bias battery or associating a circuit with a transistor. The circuit which provides transistor biasing is known as biasing circuit. It has been already discussed that transistor biasing is required for faithful amplification. In transistor amplifier circuits, we require two DC sources, that is batteries, one at input circuit and other at the output circuit. Provision of two DC supplies is inconvenient and costly. We shall discuss circuits which operate by a single supply VCC. The most commonly used methods of transistor biasing are: 1. Base resistor method, 2. Biasing with feedback resistor, 3. Biasing with emitter resistor, and 4. Voltage divider bias. A good biasing circuit always ensures the stabilization of operating point. In today's video, we will discuss base resistor method of biasing. Sometimes it is also called base bias circuit or fixed bias circuit. This is the circuit diagram of base resistor method for transistor biasing. Here NPN transistor is used. This circuit requires one DC supply VCC to set both the collector voltage and base voltage relative to emitter. A high resistance RB of several hundred kilo ohm is connected between the base and positive terminal of the supply. Here zero signal base current is available by VCC and flow through RB. Therefore, base is positive with respect to emitter. It means base emitter junction is forward biased. Circuit analysis. It is required to find the value of RB. Let IC be the required zero signal collector current. If beta be the current gain, then we have IC equal to beta IB. Applying Kirchhoff's law to the input circuit, that is this base emitter loop. Here negative of VCC is connected here, therefore loop is completed this way. Then we get VCC equal to IBRB plus VBE. Therefore, IBRB equal to VCC minus VBE, and hence RB equal to VCC minus VBE upon IB. As VCC and IB are known and VBE can be seen from the transistor manual, therefore, value of RB can be found. Since VBE is very small compared to VCC, because VBE equal to 0.3 volt for germanium transistor and 0.7 volt for silicon transistor, the former can be neglected with little error, and therefore RB equal to VCC upon IB. The supply voltage VCC is fixed. Once the resistance RB is selected, the base current IB is also fixed. For this reason, this method is also called fixed bias method. Now suppose collector current IC tends to increase due to an increase in temperature, and hence ICO. As a result, voltage drop across RC increases and therefore VCE decreases. But there is no any significant effect on IB because base is connected directly to the VCC through RB. If circuit needs to replace transistor, so beta changed. Therefore, we must have to change RB simultaneously to keep base emitter junction forward bias properly. It means this bias circuit only for to keep input junction forward bias. It is not helpful against change in temperature. Hence, this technique of biasing is not more useful. Now, Q point of the circuit. Q point is indicated by base current IB, collector current IC and collector emitter voltage VCE. So, we derive the formula for them. Applying Kirchhoff's law to input circuit loop, we have VCC equal to IBRB plus VBE, and therefore IBRB equal to VCC minus VBE, and therefore IB equal to VCC minus VBE upon RB, and which is equivalent to VCC upon RB, because with compared to VCC, VBE is very small. Say equation 1. We know that beta equal to IC upon IB, and therefore IC equal to beta IB. Putting the value of IB from equation 1, we get IC equal to beta VCC upon RB. Now, applying Kirchhoff's law to output circuit loop, that is this positive of VCC to RC and then from transistor to negative of VCC. So, a loop is completed like this. Therefore, we can write VCC equal to ICRC plus VCE. Therefore, VCE equal to VCC minus ICRC. Putting value of IC from this equation 2, we have VCE equal to VCC minus beta VCC upon RB into RC, say equation 3. Hence, from equation 1, 2 and 3, we can find Q point. Now, we will calculate stability factor for this circuit. Stability factor is defined as S equal to beta plus 1 upon 1 minus beta into DIB by DIC. This formula we have already derived in previous video. In this method, that is fixed bias method, IB is independent of IC, and therefore DIB by DIC equal to 0, and therefore this term becomes 0, and therefore S equal to beta plus 1. It means IC changes beta plus 1 times as much as any change in ICO. Since beta lies between 50 to 500 approximately, thus the value of S is very large. Due to the large value of S in a fixed bias method, it has poor thermal stability. Now, we will see the advantages and disadvantages of this biasing method. Advantages: the biasing circuit is very simple because it needs only one resistance RB, and 2, biasing conditions can be easily set because it is very easy to find the value of RB. The calculations are simple, and by changing the value of RB, Q point can be fixed at any point in active region. So, these are the advantages of the biasing circuit. Disadvantages: the stabilization is poor. It is beta plus 1, it means it is too much high. The Q point shift due to individual variation, that is replacing of transistor, and temperature rise, that is due to thermal runaway. 3, the stability factor is very high. Therefore, there are strong chances of thermal runaway.